Hey everyone, my name is Anthony, and in this video I'm going to be talking about my first impressions and thoughts about the Thrustmaster TX Leather Edition. Now, I got the wheel probably a few days ago now. I think I got it on Friday, so I've been using the wheel over the weekend, and I'm just going to basically talk about my thoughts and first impressions over some gameplay now. There is going to be gameplay with the wheel, which is actually what you're seeing right now, and then there's going to be gameplay with me playing with the pad so that you can actually see the difference. I still feel that right now I'm stronger on the pad. Obviously I'm not the best driver out there. I'm still new to the Formula 1 game and the Formula 1 in general as a sport, so I'm not the greatest driver, but I do feel as if I'm better on the pad than I am on the wheel right now, so you will see a difference there. But as time goes on, I'm probably going to get better with the wheel. So if you want to see the gameplay with the pad, just go to the time that's going to be on the screen right now, and then you can see me playing with the pad. There's also going to be probably about a minute of gameplay from Bus Simulator, because I told my friend that he came around to try the wheel out and he wanted to play Bus Simulator on it, so I said to him that I'll put some gameplay in here, so you'll probably see that as well at some point in the video. But anyways, let's get into the video. So the first thing I'd have to say, when I unboxed the wheel, the steering wheel felt really nice and heavy. It felt as if it was of good quality build, and so did everything else really. I was actually generally surprised by how heavy everything was. Personally, I thought everything was going to be quite light, quite plasticky, but no, that wasn't really the case. Everything was pretty heavy, and the pedal shifters are probably my favorite thing to use on the wheel whenever I'm playing F1, so yeah, it didn't blow my mind. Obviously, this is me just coming from the pad. I've never used a wheel before, so it didn't blow my mind, but it was just surprising to see exactly how high quality the wheel actually is. There is one thing I have a concern about when it comes to the build quality, and it's mainly just the little knob. I'm gonna put the steering wheel on the screen right now for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. But there's the little knob on the right hand side. When you're using the Xbox, it doesn't have any different functions. Like if you turn the knob up, it has the same function as the start button and stuff like that. That really confused me, because I mean, if you've got an A button or if you've got the start button already on the wheel, what's the point in having a second version? And I don't really know if you can reprogram that for it to do something else, but I just found that strange. So that's probably right now my only real annoyance with the wheel. But other than that, the build quality is solid. Everything's alright. I mean, the pedals, for example, I thought that the pedals were going to be really light, and when I pressed into it too hard, that the pedals would lift up from the back, but that's literally not happened unless I've put a lot of force into the sorry, that's not happened unless I put a lot of force into the pedals. And I'm not exactly the smallest guy. I think I'm like 6'2", 6'3", and I'm about 200 pounds, so I'm not the lightest guy. So when I do put pressure on the pedals, it is a lot of pressure. So the fact that the pedals don't come up, that's a good sign for me. I have carpets in my room, so it may be different if you've got like laminated floors. So if you've got laminated floors, maybe you wanna test that out before you get any thoughts or anything about the pedals. But anyways, moving on to the actual performance. The wheel, man, it is really a different experience. I've been watching so many reviews and videos about steering wheels and just general wheels that you can use in sim racing over the past few weeks, and every time I've heard time and time again that the wheel is a completely different experience to the pad. And as a person who's never used a wheel before, I thought, how different can it actually be? But after using the wheel this weekend, I have to say it's a complete different experience. My fiance actually is someone who never really got into F1 at the same time as me, so she did play the game every now and then just because I played the game, but she never really got into it like I did. But this entire weekend she's constantly asking me if she can try to play the game with the wheel, because it is just a different experience. And right now you can see the video that the gameplay has changed. Now you can see the Bus Simulator gameplay there, but yeah, it is completely different from using the pad. So if you've never used a wheel and you're on the pad right now and you're moving over to the wheel, trust me, it is a learning curve in itself, and you are gonna feel a lot more. Can't even think of what I was gonna say there. It is gonna be a lot more enjoyable playing the game when you do get the wheel. It is a completely different experience. The force feedback, obviously I've never played with the wheel, so I don't really want to say too much on the force feedback because I'm not really an expert when it comes to that. But in my personal opinion, it felt really nice. The fact that the wheel actually fights you when you're in the corners, the fact that the wheel actually lightens up if you start to lose grip, that's really helpful information, so that I don't spin out as much. That's one thing that I can tell you. If you're at least decently consistent on the pad when it comes to F1 2019, and you continue to practice with the wheel, you're going to be a lot more consistent with the wheel than you will be with the pad, because you just get that information that you just can't get with the pad. So yeah, I actually put this nice little triple overtake that I got on the wheel during this weekend with the Racing Point, so I thought I'd throw that in there. But yeah, the force feedback feels nice. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say because I'm not really an expert when it comes to the wheel. It's just a completely different experience for me personally when it comes to playing the game. And here's the gameplay now. I'm actually watching the gameplay as I record this video. So here's the gameplay now I was talking to you about with me playing on the pad. I was playing with the Red Bull on Canada, just doing a few laps. And you'll notice that I am a little bit stronger with the pad compared to the wheel. Obviously I'm not the greatest driver out there, but you can see that it's just because I've been playing quite a lot with the pad. So it's just that muscle memory, and now I have to basically relearn that because I've never really played with like my feet or anything like that. So that's probably one thing you'll definitely need to get used to as soon as you get the wheel, if it's your first time getting a wheel. There's other wheels out there. There is the Logitech G920 for the Xbox, because I'm on the Xbox platform, so you could get that. It is cheaper. I haven't used it, so I can't say exactly how much difference it is to the TX edition, but if you're somebody who's already used like a higher quality wheel, it may not be the best to get this one. But if you're either upgrading or you've never used the wheel before, this is an amazing thing. This is an amazing piece of equipment that you can use to up your game in terms of F1. So it's pretty much all I've got to say in terms of first impressions. I'm gonna hold off my review until probably, I don't know, it's gonna come out, within the next maybe couple of months, even 6 months down the line, because I really want to put a lot of time into the wheel before I give it a solid review, mainly because a lot of people review the wheel as soon as they get it. But one thing that a lot of people, including myself, wanted to know when it came to the wheel is how long can it hold out? What's the longevity of the wheel? Can it actually perform at the same level as when you first get it, 6 months or even a year down the line after you've had the wheel? So I'm going to hold off the reviewing for a long time, just so that I can really put a lot of time into the wheel. There is a review, I think it came out a couple of years ago though. There is a review, I forgot the guy's name, but I'll link it in the description below, where he actually waited until he had used the wheel for at least 500 hours before he made the review. I'm probably going to do something similar, just in case there are people out there who are looking at this wheel and they're like, okay, well how long is it going to last, because it is a lot of money. I personally spent about £330. I spent about £330 on the wheel, and on Amazon it's about 400, so it is a lot of money for some people, including myself. So I wanted to know that it was going to last a long time, especially when I'm putting that much money into it. So that's all I've really got to say in terms of my first impressions. I am going to make a review, but it is going to be a while from now. So if you do want to hear that review later on down the line, then give this video a like and subscribe to see that. I make F1 gameplay. I'm going to be doing F1 discussions, and I'm also going to be coming out with a different type of series than what I've seen in the F1 community very, very soon. So my name's Anthony, and thanks for watching.